Imagine you decided to build a house. Usually it's a couple of years of your life, nerves, and a mountain of loans. Now imagine a construction that didn't end during your children's time, or your grandchildren's. And even when the language you speak has completely vanished, we are used to measuring history in years. But here, time flows differently. How much is that in numbers? If you believe the textbooks, the Great Pyramid was built in 20 years. Sounds logical until you pick up a calculator. 2.5 million blocks. That means every 5 minutes, day and night, without breaks for sleep or rainy seasons. Workers had to perfectly place one multi-ton block. Every 5 minutes, decades. But there is an official list of dynasties, a clear chronology where pharaohs replace each other like shift workers. This gives us a clear figure, approximately 2700 BC, a quite specific point on the map of time to hold on to. Only the granite blocks at the base of the pyramids don't carry a manufacturing date. We date the construction by organic matter found nearby, coal from fires or workers' food remains. But what if those fires were lit by those who came here 1,000 years after the pyramids were already standing? The foundation of dates begins to crumble under our feet. Look at the tool marks. These are not just scratches. On basalt slabs, grooves are visible that remain from a very fast drill feed, so fast that it contradicts the capabilities of copper chisels. We search for traces of primitive labor, but find the handwriting of an industrial scale. Who was actually holding the tool? Everything falls into place if you assume the use of a system of levers and ramps. Huge ramps, thousands of people, synchronized effort. This is physics. It's understandable. Friction, leverage, simple tools. A large-scale logistical operation where everyone knew their maneuver. But now remove the people. Leave only the scale. Some pyramids were built for centuries, and that is no exaggeration. Generations were born, grew old, and died in the shadow of an unfinished peak. People were merely dust, a temporary resource for an object that claimed eternity. The very thought that a project can last longer than an entire civilization lives causes numbness. The Egyptians divided this chaos into kingdoms, old, middle, new. Between them, centuries of turmoil and oblivion. But as soon as peace came, construction resumed. It was a rigid, clear calendar grid where every block was a fixed moment of state stability. Something else is strange. Construction quality didn't grow over time. The most ancient pyramids are the most perfect. Those built later often crumbled into dust. Evolution went backwards. Knowledge didn't accumulate, it eroded, century after century. But the stones don't lie. For this to work, continuity was needed. Not in blueprints, but in living hands. Imagine a worker whose great-grandfather hauled stones for the same foundation. He doesn't see the beginning of the project and knows he won't see the end. For him, it's not a job, it's the landscape. It's as if we were today finishing what Charlemagne started. His calluses are the only thing connecting him to his ancestors. But calluses don't build empires. Feeding this army is a task more terrifying than moving a mountain. For this, a mad economy was required, the resource of an entire country working for a single point in the desert. Thousands of tons of grain to feed that endless army of workers. It was a machine that could not stop. Otherwise, the entire society would simply fall apart. Construction was the meaning of the state's very existence, but here the math fails. Perfect astronomical orientation, errors within fractions of a degree. Look at the sky. Over centuries of construction, stars drift away. The Earth shifts on its axis. But the pyramid continues to look exactly at the target. This means the blueprints were changed right in the process, adjusting to the movement of the cosmos. The logic of simple stone hauling doesn't just crack here, it shatters. We try to squeeze these stones into our linear history. Year by year, pharaoh by pharaoh, more finds, only more tangles. Time, technology, and human will entwine into a knot that cannot be untied by a simple count of centuries. The tension grows. We are looking at an object that clearly knows something about time that we don't. Maybe the question, how many years did they build them, is inherently meaningless? What if the pyramids are not the result of construction, but a process that was never meant to end? Perhaps we are looking not at a monument to the past, but at a mechanism that forces us to still puzzle over their age.